Alright, so let me ask you something. If I were to tell you that everything was riding on you being able to make some money this week, if I were to tell you all of your bills were due, this is like super important that you got to go out here and make some money. You got to at least make $1,000 a month, a week, this week. Could you do it? I mean, like, let's be realistic, all right? If I were to tell you, man, you know, let's say, you know, you got a house note that's due. Let's say you got a car payment that's due. Let's say it's just something real, like, you know, the kids got to eat. You don't have no money in the bank. Let's say, I don't know, like, let's say it's a dire situation and it's like, listen, can you go out and make $1,000 a week? Like, let's even say it's something as simple as the lights are gonna get cut off by the end of the week. Can you go out and make $1,000 a week? And I know what some of y'all are gonna say. I get it. You know, some of y'all gonna say, but Nick, in my market, it's super slow. In my market, you know, it's just not, it's not really possible, right? In my market, we can't really do it. In my market, you know, it's a rural market. There's nobody's gonna be able to make $1,000 a week in my market. In my market, you know, we got a lot going on. It's just very rural. Like, people here don't tip. People don't really, you know, they don't really spend money on Ubers in my market. So I don't think I just can't do it. I know that's what you're gonna tell me. I know you're gonna tell me that, you know, it's all, your market is the worst market in the world. People don't tip, so you're definitely not gonna be able to make $1,000 a week. I already know. I mean, I'm guessing. I should say. I'm guessing that you're gonna tell me you're gonna make all of these different excuses. But that's why I started off saying, what if I, you know, your life depended on it? You know what I'm saying? What if your house depended on it? What if you can't even do it for yourself? What if your family depended on you making $1,000 a week? Would those same excuses apply? Like, would you beg let's say, you know, I don't want to say stuff like this, but like, we just gonna keep it at like your house, you know what I'm saying? Because that could get real crazy real fast. But like, yeah, you know, let's just say your house is on the line. And it's like, listen, you got to make this payment. You need $1,000 by the end of the week. Can you go out and make $1,000 this week? See, this is why I say that this is such a great opportunity. This is why I say it's an opportunity. Because a lot of people in all different types of markets universally can say, yes, I will go out there and make $1,000. It may take me 100 hours, but I can go out there and make $1,000. Now, would you actually do that? Maybe not. There are better markets. Some markets are better than others, obviously. So like, yeah, if I had to do that during our slow season, then yeah, no, I don't really want to do it, but I can do it. You know, so obviously timing affects, you know, how, I guess, quote unquote, easy it is. But it's still true that, you know, it's a possibility to do it if you really put your mind to it. But I started off this conversation saying, like, if there was no other option, if you had no other option whatsoever, no other option, you would go make it happen. Please believe that you're going to make it happen. Please believe that all of the excuses that you have of, my market sucks, people don't tip in my market, all of that stuff doesn't matter. Because you're going to figure it out. Maybe in your town, you probably won't make $1,000 a week. But I guarantee you, if you got to drive 30 minutes, an hour away, and everything was counting on it, you would. And that's what I tell everybody, Or, obviously, you may not live in a super populated city, but you can obviously guess and know which ones are. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I always use Ohio, but if your next door neighbor is a goat, then no, yes, you're right. You may not be able to make $1,000 just working your area. But, there's rural parts of Georgia. You got all types of rural spots in Georgia. And Georgia's the only place that I can really think about right now. I was trying to think of cities in Ohio, but I can't. Yeah. What is there actually in Ohio? Like, if we being honest, like, what is there actually in Ohio? I don't know. Not to do Ohio like that, but yeah, like, there are rural parts in Georgia. So yeah, if you live in a rural part of Georgia, then obviously, if you had to make $1,000, you would go to Atlanta. I mean, that's the easiest thing to say. I mean, there's different parts and all of that stuff. And if you actually work the market, you know where to go. But I'm just saying, like, you would go to Atlanta, or vice versa. If you lived way out north and rural New York, the easiest and the most likely place that you would make $1,000 in a week would be to just go to New York City, Or on the flip side, if you stay here in South Florida, and let's say you live in like Island Marada, it may not be, it may not be likely that you're gonna make $1,000 a week down there. But obviously you come up to Miami, then, your chances get higher. In other words, what I'm saying is, if you had no other choice, if it was on the line and everything was like riding on this, there would be no excuses. All of the excuses that you tell yourself, that you may say, that you may have thought, that you may have learned, all of those would go out the window, because it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. You would quickly, if it was that important. And so the whole point of why I'm saying this, just to kind of wrap it up, is, again, we have a lot of excuses. A lot of excuses. We tell ourselves a lot of different things. We tell ourselves a lot of different things as to why we don't make money. But all of that stuff is just in your mind. It's all about your mentality. All about your mentality. That's all it's about. It's just about your mindset. This is why successful people, a lot of the successful people, they legitimately just talk about mindset. Because that's where it starts. It starts in your mindset. It starts in your mentality. It starts in just how you go about your everyday activities. Overcoming things. It starts in your mindset. You gotta obviously first believe it before you'll start to achieve it. And, not to make this into some Wednesday night special or anything like that, but it does start with your mindset. Your mindset is very important, because if you don't believe that you could achieve it, then why should anybody else, right? But our mentality can be such a barrier to us actually making money, and you won't even know it, because it'll sound so legitimate, because it's coming from yourself. It's coming with your own mind. You know, we can convince ourselves of anything. You know, so when people tell me they can't make $1,000 a week, my first response is, okay, what are the major cities around? That's the easiest thing. Okay, so, you know, like I said, I can't think of, every time I do these videos, it's hard for me to think of like actual geography. So yeah, if you stay in Isla Mirada, or let's say you stay, I don't know, you stay in Apaka, Florida. That's a rural area. $1,000 a week isn't likely in that area. But on the flip side, yes, you will have to travel. You will have to travel a little bit, and you travel down to like Tampa, or you travel down to like Tampa to Jacksonville, or even you travel all the way down to Miami, South Florida, or West Palm Beach, or Fort Lauderdale. Then $1,000 is more likely in one of those scenarios. Really, I mean, Tampa is fine, Orlando's fine. It's a likelihood, you know. And that's the same for pretty much any area. Any area has a big city. I mean, you guys kind of know the areas better than I do. But yeah, a lot of times it's just that mentality of you've never done it, so you don't think that you can do it. Not even necessarily that it's not possible, it's just you've never done it. And that's the beautiful thing about what we do. Me being somewhere in a completely different state, I can still tell you that it's possible because I was there. I was watching other YouTubers, and I'm like, bro, how are you doing this? And because I was watching and I got inspired, as I always tell you guys, I was watching Running Speed. He was killing it. He was making $2,600, $2,700, $3,200. And I'm like, yo, bro, how is he killing it like that? And then I would try to go do it, and I'm like, man, I can't even make $1,000. But it was a mentality thing for me. And that's usually what it is. Once I got over the fact that I can't do it, and I started believing that I could, then I started finding a way to do it. And that's what happens, right? So if all you do is you tell yourself you can't do it, then the only thing you're going to see, the only thing you're going to learn is more ways of why you shouldn't be able to do it. But if you flip it, you know, just a little bit, you know, I'm not saying be unrealistic, but if you believe that you can do something, you're going to find ways to match up with your belief. So when I was saying that I can't do it and I live in Miami, it's like, yo, okay, but I'm in a major city. What do you mean I can't do it? Okay, well, what time am I doing it? Is this the slow season or is this the busy season? Okay, what areas am I working? Maybe I shouldn't work these same areas. Maybe I got to tweak the areas that I'm working at. Okay, you know, am I talking to my passengers? Am I getting tipped? Or am I just, you know, shutting up and drive? You know, what type of passengers am I picking up? Am I picking up these crazy drunk people that I know are just trying to destroy my car? And they're going to get out and be like, oops. Or am I like actually picking up civilized people? Am I picking up business people? Like, what am I kind of picking up? You know? And then, you know, you just kind of go from there. That was kind of my situation. You know, I started like working the problem backwards. And that's what I recommend for anybody. Work the problem backwards. So, you know, if you say you can't make it, work the problem backwards. And little by little, the answers will pop out. I don't know if all of this makes sense, but I was just thinking about it, man, because I get a lot of questions about how to make $1,000 in a week. A lot of people, the first thing that they tell me is, oh, I can't do it. It's like, okay, who are you trying to convince here? are you trying to convince me, or you know what I'm saying? You actually are trying to learn how to do it. No, I can't do it. Okay, if you say you can't do it, I'm gonna leave it at that. but no, I'm reaching out to you so that I can learn how to do it. Oh, so there's a possibility, huh? There's a possibility that you could do it, huh? And then, of course, you know, more questions is, okay, well, why do you think there's a possibility? Well, you know, because, you know, I got this city, and I mean, you know, it got some tourist spots, and it got this, and it got that. And it's like, yeah, that's why. So, but yeah, man, I just kind of wanted to tell you guys that because I thought it was funny. I've been getting these questions a lot lately. And, you know, not to say that I'm laughing at people, but it's just like, sometimes you just need a different perspective. So I hope this is a different perspective for a lot of you guys. But yeah, if you got any questions, any comments, leave them down below. If you're not a part of the Telegram group, we are almost at 100 people. It's a milestone. 100 people in our community. So you might want to join now. But yeah, with that being said, man, I'm out of here. I just want to tell you guys again, I love you and I appreciate you. It's been real. Deuces.